Why 400-meter final at Olympics is considered hardest race in athletics. U.S. athlete Quincy Hall secured a thrilling comeback victory in the men's 400-meter final at the Paris 2024 Olympics on Wednesday night as a gold medal restored his nation's legacy, marking the 20th American gold in the event's history. While conversations that have followed reveal that, in the eyes of scientists, it's the most difficult race event taking place this summer. Initially, Hall appeared to be out of contention, lagging in 6th place for the first 200 meters. And even with only 100 meters left, he was still trailing in 4th place. But his relentless effort saw him overtaking Team GB's Matthew Hudson-Smith just before the finish line to clock in a time of 43.4. To the naked eye, the event appeared to be a matter of speed and strength, making it appear like a more straightforward individual race than the likes of the slow-burn 5,000 and 10,000 or even the hurdles and steeplechase. However, a scientist has recently revealed that the 400-meter sprint is the toughest in its category. Why 400 is so difficult? It uses 3 energy systems to their maximum capacity. The 400 meters is considered a sprint event, and it is the longest of such type that is competed in individual IAAF-sanctioned competitions. Most of the elite male athletes will average just over 11 seconds per lap, compared to the upper end of 9 seconds that top 100 runners will produce. Because of its full-throttle nature, it has been deemed the hardest Olympic race by science-based YouTube channel Outperform. In a recent video, they explained the principal reason for this is down to the energy that the body produces throughout the race, and the 3 energy systems that the body uses. An athlete's body first uses an energy store that allows them to have a short, sharp burst to get them up to top speed over the first 5 to 10 seconds across 50 meters. The next 150 meters sees runners run at below their maximum speed, with lactic acid causing the muscles to fatigue. The body will then produce anaerobic energy over the next 100 meters, but it will produce it much more slowly than the other 2 energy sources, meaning the demand outweighs the supply. The body will attempt to produce more aerobic energy, but struggles to produce enough to aid the final sprint towards the line, causing muscles to then be negatively affected. Former U.S. sprinting legend and 12-time Olympic gold medalist, Michael Jordan, replied to the video on Twitter to further exacerbate the toughness of the 400 He commented, "Understanding this process was key to me breaking the world record and consistently running 43 seconds." What Quincy Hall said, the 26-year-old took his nation back to their 80s pinnacle. 4 years, the U.S. dominated the men's 400-meter, winning 7 straight Olympic titles from 1984 to 2008. However, American runners struggled in subsequent years, achieving only 1 third-place finish. Hall's victory last night rolled back the years and breathed new hope into the future of the event for a sleeping giant. Hall's winning time of 43.4 seconds was a personal best and the 5th fastest time ever recorded. After his win, Hall celebrated by removing his shoes and taking a victory lap around the stadium with the American flag draped over his shoulders. When asked when he knew he'd won, Hall confidently replied, "As soon as they shot that gun, I knew I had it." The triumph follows a pattern of dramatic comebacks by Team USA in the Paris track and field events. Earlier in the summer, Noah Lyles won gold in the 100-meter after a slow start, and Cole Hawker captured an unexpected victory in the 1,500-meter final. Hall, on the other hand, still has time to add to his legacy this year, as he is set to compete again in the men's 4x400-meter relay, with heats beginning on Friday and the final on Saturday. Men's 400-meter finals were historic. 2024 Paris Olympic Games. It is finally time for one of the most anticipated and intense finals that we will see in 2024. In this final, we have so many historic names set to compete. We have Karani James from Grenada, a 3-time Olympic medalist looking to make it 4. We have the 2022 world champion Michael Norman. We have the world's fastest athlete this season in Matthew Hudson-Smith from Great Britain. And we have many other incredible athletes such as Doreen Richards, Muzala Samakonga, and Christopher Bailey from the US. Also a big shout out to Samuel Ogotsi from Nigeria, who ran a time of 44.41 in the qualifying rounds. And speaking of that semis, we saw something that we have never seen before, because this was the fastest 400-meter semis in history. Here's a crazy fact for you. In 2023, the 400-meter world champion was Antonio Watson from Jamaica,
who achieved a time of
44.22 seconds. And unbelievably, we had not one, not two, not even three, but four athletes running faster than that World Championship gold medal in this year's semifinals. For these semis, these athletes went absolutely crazy, with Quincy James leading the way at 43.78 seconds. To get under 44 is already an all-time achievement, as only 24 athletes in the history of the men's 400 have gone under 44. And yet, we saw 3 in the semifinals getting under 44. There is a reason why many announcers, commentators, and fans are saying that this could be one of the fastest 400-meter races of all time. Because with the semifinals like this, which demanded a time of 44.41 seconds just to qualify into the finals, we are certainly set to see something incredible come this year's finals. Right now, the fastest man in the world still stands with Matthew Hudson-Smith from Great Britain, who holds a season's best of 43.74 seconds. This time was achieved on home soil for Hudson-Smith, as he achieved this world number 1 ranking at this year's Diamond League meeting in London. This world-leading mark puts him as one of the clear favorites for this Olympic final. And what's also at stake is some intense history for Great Britain, because Great Britain has not won a men's 400 title in the Olympics since 1924, exactly 100 years ago at the Paris Olympics. So if Hudson-Smith does achieve such a gold, it would be one of the greatest moments not just for Hudson-Smith, but for Great Britain as well. Now, as we mentioned, Quincy James had the fastest qualifying time with a run of 43.78. And since 2012, when he won the Olympic gold in this event, he has won every single medal in the 400. In 2016, he won the silver. And then in the 2020 Olympics, he won the bronze medal in the 400. But given this insane qualifying time, he is also looking to be one of the clear favorites for a medal. Now, the current world record stands at 43.03 seconds, set by Wade van Niekerk back in 2016. And this record has stood strong against any other competition by more than 0.3 of a second since it was set now 8 years ago. But some people are actually calling for these athletes to challenge that mark of Wade van Niekerk. And even though this world record is considered as one of the greatest all-time records in track history, perhaps these athletes can challenge a 43.03. So now, without further ado, let's head down to the track and see how this men's 400 final unfolded. After a fair start, these athletes got off to a burning opening 100, and through the opening 100 meters, the athlete that was leading was Jareem Richards in 10.69 seconds, followed by Quincy James in 10.75, followed by Matthew Hudson-Smith in 10.81. This is a very quick opening 100, and through the 200-meter mark, Jareem Richards was a man on a mission, splitting a time of 20.46, with Hudson-Smith close in 20.62, and Quincy James was right behind in 20.63. This is pretty much world record tempo at this point, and it's almost a guarantee that the first half will be faster than the second half. Because if this race ended up being an even split, that would have been Jareem Richards under 41 seconds, which was not going to happen. Now, through the 300-meter mark, things officially started to change, with Hudson-Smith making his move, dropping a split time of 31.35. At this point in the race, he was already moving past Jareem Richards, and beyond that, he was pretty much gapping everyone else in the field. However, over the final 50 meters, Quincy Hall from the United States
turned on the smoke,
and he ended up taking this win
with a time of 43.40
This is now the
seconds.
fourth fastest time ever run in the Open 400, now only falling behind Butch Reynolds and Michael Johnson. And this was the perfect race at the perfect time for Quincy Hall. Now finishing in second was Matthew Hudson-Smith in 43.44 seconds, which now makes him the 5th fastest athlete of all time. And this destroyed his own European record by 3 full tenths of a second. And speaking of his previous European record, Muzala Samakonga from Zambia ended up bringing home the bronze medal in 43.74 seconds. Now rounding out these top 8 were Jareem Richards in 4th, who ran a splendid time of 43.78 to again break a national record, and finishing in 5th was Karani James, followed by Christopher Bailey, Samuel Ogazzi, and finishing in 8th was Michael Norman in 45.62. I'm not exactly sure if something happened with Michael Norman, but he did not run the race that he clearly wanted.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for daily updates.